Thank you, thank you, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the Scott County Democrats. I want to thank the Iowa Democratic Party. And I most importantly want to thank my favorite Democrat, my wife, Jill. She gives me the strength every day to fight for what's right in this country. Folks, it is good to be back in Iowa. I gotta tell you, my history with this state has been long and rough. You guys met me in 2008 when I ran for president for the second time, and I debated my fellow Democrats on a stage in Des Moines. You got to hear my stances on how I felt about the failed Republican leadership of the previous 8 years, and how I thought that the country needed to get back on track. It was at that debate that I didn't give the most resounding support for my future boss, which could have been why I came in dead last. I don't know. But nevertheless, a couple months later, Barack called me on the phone. He said, "Joe, I want you to be my vice president." And I told him no. Like an idiot, I said no. I said I was worried that my position on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee was too valuable and that being vice president would just be a placeholder for me, somewhere they could hide me so I couldn't make any more noise. But he convinced me otherwise. He said that he needed my dedicated experience to foreign policy and my extensive legislative experience to help him create the offsetting balance that he needed to be the most effective president possible. And I agreed with him. So that year, we went on to win the nomination for the Democratic Party for the United States of America in 2008. I gotta tell you, that debate was hard. I had to face against John McCain. John McCain, bless his soul, was one of my best friends. He was a good American. He was a hardworking American. And although we didn't agree on a lot of things, he meant what he said, and he said what he meant it. And god damn it, that is some bipartisanship that you don't see anymore, that people in Washington and in state houses across this country could learn from. God bless John McCain. May he rest in peace. But folks, that election was important. And although John and I disagreed, that election was about hope and change that this country needed so desperately. We were on the brink of financial collapse. We were in so many wars that we couldn't even remember what wars we were in. And in November of 2008, with your help, Iowa, you sent me and my friend Barack to the White House. And I thank you for that. That first term, we had to rebuild the economy. It was utterly destroyed by the previous administration, and we had to work hard to rebuild it. We also helped to end the war in Afghanistan, a huge diplomatic victory. We caught and captured Osama bin Laden, thus putting to rest the tumultuous feelings that so many Americans had felt since 9/11. We also passed health care. We passed Obamacare. We passed the Affordable Care Act, wherever you want to call it. We gave millions of Americans access to health care that they never had before. That's something to be proud of. And then in 2012, you guys decided that our country was on the right path, was in the right direction, and we won re-election. It was in that second term, tragedy of Sandy Hook. The president asked me to head up the gun violence task force, which would help end gun violence in this country, most specifically end school shootings. But it didn't work. The NRA's pockets were too deep in Congress, and we failed, and I will always regret it. But I tell you what, these kids in Parkland, Florida, they are giving me hope. Hope that we will end gun violence in this country, for they are the spark that will light the flame that will end this awful epidemic. I look to them for faith. You should too. Now, folks, Barack and I worked hard to build a legacy that a Democratic successor could come in and continue the hard work that we had done. But we failed. We didn't convey the message that Democrats were the right ones for America. We didn't work hard enough to enshrine our legacy for all of you, to understand that Democrats have far more to offer than Republicans ever could. And that's one of the greatest regrets of my life, that we sent this man to the White House. Now, folks, in 2020, this is the most important election of our lifetime. This is the election where we take back our country, not from the authoritarians, not from the 1%, not from special interests. We take it back, and we give it back to the American people. For democracy comes from the word Greek, demokratia, meaning rule by the people. Let's remember what it's like to be ruled by the people. This election is going to send a solid message to the man in the White House that the majority of this country wants some goddamn normalcy. We cannot mess around with this. If you want to see protections for your health care and your parents' health care and your children's health care, if you want to see a press and a media that isn't being persecuted on a daily basis, if you want to see a safer world that doesn't involve North Korea obtaining a nuclear weapon, if you want to show Russia and Putin's cronies that we are stronger than him, if you want a future for your children where they go to school every day, not having to worry about if they'll make it home, if you want to see an America where white Americans and black Americans and Asian Americans and Hispanic Americans come together as one American race, united under the principles of freedom, liberty, and equality, then I need your support to be the next president of the United States on November 3rd. We are better than this. We can do this. We are Americans, god damn it. Let's remember what it's like to be American. God bless you, Iowa. God bless our troops. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.